Hey everybody, welcome back to Absolutely Marvel in DC. I'm Dylan, that is Sal, and today we're going to be talking about the big finale of What If, Season 1, Episode 9, What If the Watcher Broke His Oath. Quick recap, this is the one where the Watcher breaks his oath.
Yes, and does the thing that was in the first trailer for the show.
Yeah, apparently. Which,
yeah,
you
didn't see it, but
that's trailers.
they show, the Avengers swoop, but with the multiversal Guardians, and it's like, yep.
Right. Which, I want to say, I want to commend this episode specifically for its visuals and kind of its action, which I think is kind of universally what has worked so far. Like, action and clearly, the people who, I guess the directors of the episodes just have, an eye for, cool shots.
Yeah.
And, despite the art style, which I think we both aren't super fans of.
It grows on me. I have no complaints about the visual of the show at this point. Did I like other more, stylized animation from Marvel? Yeah, but this is fine. It does what it needs to do. And, it doesn't feel cheap. It just feels odd.
Yeah, it's slightly off.
Yeah,
but it definitely when they go for the more concept art moments and there's just fun action happening. There's a oneer in this episode which it's animation, so it's still a oneer, but it's less impressive, but it's still
No, but I did
notice
it. I noticed it too, and I was watching
exactly.
hey, it's one shot. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, everyone's beating on Ultron, and the whole episode is kind of reminiscent of in Infinity War, the scene where they're on Titan and they're trying to get the glove off of him. It's kind of just that for the whole episode, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed most of it. Just because it was kind of dumb action. A lot of it felt earned. Having 8 episodes lead up to this, where we get to. We didn't take the DC route and just skip to the big confrontation.
No.
We got to feel each of these characters, except for Gamora,
who just shows up and is in it, and for my money, serves no real purpose. So you could have had anybody do it. You either didn't need her in it, or you needed somebody else. I mean, I feel like Black Widow would have been the additional person, but she kind of showed up accidentally, though the Watcher knows what's going to happen, I guess, so he knew she was going to be there. But spoilers for the episode, obviously, everybody, but Gamora, the reason she's there is because she has the Deus Ex Machina, and there's no reason T'Challa couldn't have had that. And
the weird thing too is I assumed it was going to be Black Widow in Gamora's role to begin with, and the Deus Ex Machina shifts.
Yes.
Once Gamora's thing doesn't work, hello plane, the arrow with Zola in it becomes the same thing. So
I'll be honest, I forgot about the arrow halfway through the episode because they put so much emphasis on the Stone Crusher, because Gamora is on the poster for the show when the show premiered. She's got Thanos' stupid sword thing. And I was like, oh, she'll be a villain. She will have killed Thanos and took his place or something. Obviously, all these characters, when you just look at them, you're like, I think I see the entire story. And sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. With Gamora, I was wrong. But, when she's introduced, she's just like, hey, I'm here. I'm a good guy. I got this rock polisher. And it's like, I don't know. I genuinely was like, that could have been the Gamora of T'Challa's universe. Didn't need to be some...
it's...
I don't even know what Iron Man's doing in there. Because Tony and Gamora are teaming up, and I'm like, what is this universe? This is you have 8 episodes worth of characters, and you just made one up just to add Gamora for no reason. It sounds like we're complaining. It's really nitpicking, and it's not that it detracted from the episode. It was just kind of for an episode that I felt was really, really tight and really fun. I genuinely just had a blast watching it, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, this is the show. The show is fan service. Because at no point, at some point, I was a little bit concerned that they might lose, and then I'm like, this isn't the real MCU. And so I knew this is more or less supposed to be designed to deliver on concepts, premises, and and fan service. And I'm like, let's just have fun. And we did. And then everyone gets what they want at the end.
That like there were compounding on that, like there were some genuine moments where I felt tension, and I realized I was like, I'm feeling tension because no one, like, they could kill all of these characters and it wouldn't matter.
That's true.
And that's why, like, I'm a huge proponent for What If and alternate universe stuff, just because that it allows you to do stuff like that.
Anything goes.
Yeah, like Tom Taylor's deceased most recently is like something that benefits from that hugely, because he can do whatever he wants in that world.
Totally.
Because it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And that's a fun thing that I feel like they didn't like make use of a lot in this season, but there's specific moments here where it's like, oh, like it's possible that their plan just isn't going to work at all ever.
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason why it has to work is because they're not going to destroy the multiverse. They just introduced it.
Right.
You know, but it could be that Watcher's like, well, that was a mistake. Maybe next season we'll have another team.
Right.
But yeah,
because you know, similarly, the end of Loki season 1 is
right.
Like this big multiverse happens and then a huge cliffhanger, and it's like that has implications on the entire multiverse.
Totally.
But we'll get to that next season and in future movies.
Yeah.
But the Gamora stuff, I almost don't want to criticize this episode for it, because I feel like there was a 10th episode that got cut.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me, given how much design and effort went into, like, the flashback to them. Like, what are they doing? Why are they in space? Why is Iron Man using the Hulkbuster thing? Like, what is all of this? And then she's just like, yeah, hi. Normal. This is totally normal. I'm like, no. There's no context for this.
Yeah, I feel like there was something written. They probably had a script. They probably scripted out the entire... Because again, like I mentioned this once before, but I think they filmed or they recorded all of this on set of other movies. Like, obviously, they recorded the whole thing before Chadwick Boseman passed away, because he's in, like, the entire season.
Right.
So it's... I have a feeling they scripted out the entire thing, and then they were like, oops, we only have budget for 9 episodes. Let's cut the one with Gamora that everyone probably won't care about.
Right. The only one where Iron Man doesn't die.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a good point.
Right.
But, I mean, the only other criticism I really have of this episode is the same thing we've been saying, like, this entire season, is that some of the performances feel a bit weird.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, it doesn't bother me, again, because I think the stuff that this show excels at is direction and action. Like, direction and action, especially. Because, like, there's a scene in this episode where Doctor Strange opens up a portal and a literal mountain of zombies falls on Ultron.
Spectacular
what a cool moment.
That was awesome. I'm like, yes, that's so cool. Did you just solve the zombie problem, by the way, in that universe?
Right. Just took him out of there.
Right.
Also, like, speaking of the zombie problem, when Widow is like, I don't want to go back to my universe at the end, and the Watcher's like, all right, fine, puts her in a universe where
send you there. No.
Yeah, where they don't have a Widow. I was like, I want to see that. I want to see that episode next season, hopefully.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I thought for a second, when it's like the helicarrier and things are going, like, you know, crabbed, I was like, is this the main Marvel universe?
Yeah, same. I was
like,
like,
Captain America's there, so I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I also like that was a great moment, because it was just kind of like, good for you. All right, happy endings for everybody except for you, Doctor Strange. F you. But when Nick says, like, you're not my Natasha, but maybe you've got the heart, I'm like, shut up. Like, that was so. I'm like, just go like, Natasha. Just have him be like, what?
Yeah.
I watched you die, and then have her go like, it's a long story. End of scene. That way you could do anything. Like, you could say she came back from the dead. You could say whatever. But like, he immediately is like, you're a multiversal copy, and I'm like, get out of here. You don't know that, Nick. Not from this universe.
Yeah,
but,
Fury knows too much in a lot of this, and I know, like, that's his whole thing, is like, he's the man who sees everything, but like.
Right.
I don't know. The multiverse didn't exist until like yesterday, basically.
Right. So like, you don't know. You should be thinking Resurrection over multiversal variant.
I would say he would be thinking, you're a spy. Like, you have a
or a
red
Skrull.
wig on. Yeah, you're a Skrull. He would totally be because Captain Marvel's there.
Yeah, right. She's there, and that's interesting too because Captain Marvel's like it's like that episode was like, what if the Avengers formed like right after Iron Man 1? So Loki shows up and everyone's already there.
Because Loki also calls them his Fury's replacement Avengers, which I'm not really sure what that means.
I don't know. I would like to see.
Yeah,
maybe we will
next season, I'm sure. But...
Well, because now Variant Natasha is like a character, and she's
which
cool.
I actually really like her because I think
too.
she has a really cool design and has like now a really interesting origin,
right?
And has a lot of importance. I really liked her interactions with Captain Carter in this episode. That the moment where they're like, it's just good writing when they call back to their relationship in her universe and Captain Carter's universe. Yep. And then they go forward with it. Just cool. Good moments.
Implications for the future. Obviously, Captain Carter gets Steve back, but in a Winter Soldier role. I assume, since she's fighting Batroc in the Winter Soldier scenes.
Right.
And Steve's still alive in the Hydra Stomper suit, which was cute, but also like interesting. I'm like, is he a robot man? Like, does he have cybernetic enhancements? Did they grow him? Did he get big yet, or is he just still like little Steve? I don't know. I know we're gonna find out because there's like this is their Iron Man. Like, is Captain Carter like they're like, this is our main character.
Yeah, which like I'm all here for. I know you obviously you loved that first episode.
I didn't so I'm okay with it. Like,
yeah, I love that character, so like I'm cool with it no matter what. And I think she really got her due in this episode.
Totally.
And I think Haley Atwell is a treasure.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Put her in anything and I'll watch it.
And what was it? Ultron noticed that she was kind of like the key. Like if they kill her, they end everything. And I was like, was that the first universe? Like, was that the first multiversal branch?
Strange.
Oh, is it? Was he talking to Doctor Strange? I thought he was talking about Captain Carter.
I think he was talking to Doctor Strange because he noticed that they weren't dying because of his protection spell.
I see. Okay. I thought it was just like, that he noticed that there was some kind of like aura around her or something. But yeah. All right,
that would have been interesting. The first multiverse.
Yeah.
Or universe in the multiverse. I don't know. Yeah. That's a weird thing to think about because they're all born at the same time. But
exactly. But like, who was first? Why are they first? What was the nexus point? Like, it's interesting. But yeah, overall, loved it. I really had a blast. It was nice to have an episode that like ends with a bang, or a season that ends with a bang. It's just like it ended, and it's like cool, and there's implications for the future. But you could just stop, and no one would complain.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the triumph and like the weirdness of this show is that like I've talked to some of my friends who are like diehard Marvel fans, to the extent where they like try to watch everything that they're interested in, who aren't watching the show, and I think that's just like it's so different that a lot of people aren't gonna watch it and they think it's not important, which like I don't know, that's to be seen whether or not it's gonna be paid attention to outside of its own show,
right?
But it is definitely like as a 9-episode show of just like 20 to 30 minute episodes. I think it's a good watch. I'm sure binged, it's probably fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally worth watching to completion, and it's not a big time commitment. It's easy to just knock these episodes out just from just sheer enjoyment. I will say I don't believe in this, but I think it's really funny and interesting how the Scarlett Johansson Disney stuff wrapped up amenably for everybody at the exact same time that they reintegrate a potential variant Black Widow into the Marvel Universe. And it's just kind of like, she's like, yeah, I'm back. And I'm like, yeah, you are back. Like, literally. Interesting.
I don't really Lake Bell in the live action role instead.
I'd be fine with that. Lake Bell is incredible. And like, I want her to play Poison Ivy in real life. Not just as her amazing Poison Ivy character in the Harley Quinn cartoon, but I love her as Black Widow or a Black Widow or whatever. But I'll take Scarlett Johansson's fine. But like or whoever the blonde one. It's fine.
The blonde one,
right? It's
fair enough.
I'm sorry.
All right. Stay tuned to the channel because next week we're gonna do a full roundup of the entire series for What If. give our whole opinions on the whole thing looking back on it. But other than that, this has been Absolutely Marvel in DC. I'm Dylan, that is Sal. Stay tuned to the channel for more content coming at you real soon.